Just because you love your family doesn't mean your dog has to. Welcome to The Dog Who Asked for More, the podcast helping dog parents who feel stuck and overwhelmed by their pup finally let go of the guilt, learn to communicate clearly, and build the bond you've always dreamed of through a partnership-based approach that combines training, nutrition, and enrichment instead of chasing the quick fixes that don't actually work. I'm Em, and in this episode, you'll learn why family gatherings can be incredibly overwhelming for your dog, what I wish I had known years ago about managing the holidays with reactive, fearful, or just done with it dogs, and how to advocate for your dog even when your family doesn't understand. Let's set the scene. The house is full of people. Someone brought dessert. Someone else brought their kids. There's food on every surface, coats on every chair, and someone definitely just let the dog out without asking. For a lot of dogs, this is not a holiday. It is a nightmare. And I want to tell you something that took me way too long to learn. You are allowed to make choices that protect your dog, even if your family doesn't get it. I have never taken Fitz to family events. My family is big, like 20 to 25 people under one roof and growing. Honestly, that is overwhelming for me. Add in overstimulation, loud voices, constant moving, drinking, food on the floor, and unpredictable guests. There is no way I am bringing my big feeling, sensitive dog into that storm. And I don't feel bad about it. Because I've learned that just like I have boundaries, so does he. He doesn't need to socialize more or get used to it. He needs space and peace. And honestly, so do I. But it wasn't always like that. Years ago, right after I rescued Toby, I brought him to my parents' Thanksgiving gathering. I had told my sister ahead of time to come in slowly, quietly, and avoid sudden movement. But like most humans during the holidays, she came in with her arms full, talking, laughing, juggling bags, and Toby bit her. He didn't do any physical damage. Maybe he tore her jeans, but the emotional damage was done. He did not trust her after that. And honestly, neither did I. It took years for them to build any kind of relationship. But then a few years ago, something shifted. My sister came to visit, and this time she listened. She entered calmly, she sat on the couch, and she let Toby come to her. And he did. He got right up into her lap, and she looked at me completely shocked and said, "What is happening? I thought he hated me." He didn't hate her. He just needed her to meet him where he was. So if you're navigating the dreaded family visit this year, here's what I want you to know. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to create a no petting zone. You are allowed to let your dog stay home or in a separate room or on a leash or in a crate or wherever they feel safe. You do not owe anyone access to your dog. And your dog doesn't owe anyone their trust, even if they're just trying to help, even if they had a dog growing up, even if they're family. Because sometimes protecting your dog means disappointing someone else. And that is okay. This week's Answering the Ask goes back to that moment with Toby. He wasn't being aggressive. He wasn't trying to ruin Thanksgiving. He was scared, startled, and totally unequipped to handle that moment. His ask was, "Please give me space." And I didn't hear it until it was too late. But over time, with healing and advocacy, that ask became trust. Now he knows I've got his back no matter what the calendar says. You know what one thing I wish more people knew is that a growl isn't disrespect and that a bark isn't bad behavior. Sometimes the way your dog acts around your family is communication. So, in this week's Dogs to Human Translator, I want you to remember this. When your dog avoids someone, flinches to their touch, hides under the table, or chooses to stay away, it's not a failure, it's a message. And when you listen to that message, you build a foundation of trust that lasts way longer than the holiday season. You don't have to explain your dog to anyone who refuses to understand them. You don't have to sacrifice their safety or your sanity for the sake of togetherness. And if your dog is telling you they're not up for the family party, you're not weak for honoring that. You're wise. Protect their peace and protect yours. You'll both be better for it. So here's what I want you to remember. The holidays can be overwhelming, and that doesn't mean you're failing. Your dog doesn't have to like your family just because you do. And boundaries are not rude, they are loving. Be kind, spread joy, and remember, just because you love your family doesn't mean your dog has to. Thank you for listening to The Dog Who Asked for More and for giving your dog this time through your learning. If your dog is bouncing off the walls, no matter how much you walk them, it can feel like nothing is ever enough. The truth is, most dogs don't need more exercise. They need the right kind of enrichment to settle their brains and their bodies. That's why I put together a free enrichment resource packed with easy, fun ideas that you can try right away. You'll find the link in the show notes. New episodes drop every Monday and Wednesday. I'll see you next time.